What's going on, Cigar World? What's going on, Cigar Enthusiasts? This is Jack, the Cigar Enthusiast, and I'm back with another video. And today, we're talking about the 5 top cigars that is great for a beginner. So with that being said, strap in, buckle up, and let's go. First beginning to smoke cigars, it could be a bit overwhelming. Why? Because you don't know exactly what it is that you want to pick or what it is that you should smoke. You don't want to start too heavy. You don't want to start too low. There's a lot of variables and opinions that really go into place. Most people learn to start smoking cigars based off a friend, or they just looking to get into a new hobby, or they doing it socially, or whatever the case may be. But understanding as you develop and you start to try more cigars versus that one you initially stuck with, there is some that are out there that is meant straight for your palates. Now, understanding how cigars work, they are a stimulation of your palates. The flavors within those cigars really come together to really allow you to understand and enjoy that stick. So with that being said, I personally believe that as a beginner smoker, that you should always start with a more Connecticut, mellow to medium body cigar. Why? Because what you don't want to do is overstimulate or put yourself in a situation where you don't like the cigars. It really throws you off the cigar experience. And quite frankly, it's kind of sad, but it is true. A lot of lounges and shops out there don't really have educated workers that can really give you the information you need to choose that stick wisely. So after watching this video, you're really going to get a more defined understanding of 5 cigars that I personally will recommend to anybody that shops at Dapper D's Cigars. That being said, let's dive in. Now, everybody wants to always go to your favorite cigar, so it's only right that I put my recommendation of a great flavor cigar. I would never personally recommend to a new or beginner smoker to get a flavored cigar. There is a bunch of reasons why, but my personal preference on it is that when you introduce a cigar smoker or a beginning cigar smoker to a cigar with flavor, that is what they fall in love with. That is what their palate is going to kind of get used to. Unless they are a very optimistic person, they don't mind discovering and looking over cigars, that is something that you typically don't want to do. But understanding that everybody doesn't have the same opinion as me, so some people say, starting off with a flavored cigar is the best way to start off. I totally disagree, but we're going to talk about it, and the cigar that we're going to talk about is Tabak Especial Dosa. It's one of the best flavored cigars on the market and really has a Nicaraguan coffee bean-like and uses mocha flavors to really pull out the flavor within this cigar. This is a natural Connecticut handmade cigar. It is really immaculate, and what I usually get from it is a very, very strong flavor of honey. So if you like honey, this would be a great cigar. And me personally, I find that a lot of my women customers love this. This is actually one of my wife's favorite cigars, and actually the only cigar that she will smoke. I tried to get her off it, but again, it's one of those things where once you get on it, it's hard to get off it. The next cigar that we're going to talk about is your Monte Cristo White Vintage Connecticut. A lot of people get this confused with the White Series. The White Series is a phenomenal Connecticut cigar to start off with, but I like the White Vintage Connecticut. Why? Because it's a more robust flavor, and it really is an effective version of the White Series. This is a Connecticut shade wrapper that is built in the Dominican Republic, but the wrapper is a Nicaraguan and the fillers are Peruvian, Nicaraguan, and Dominican. And this really comes together to create a more mellow and soft blow smoke. And it is one of those cigars that really help you build your palate stimulations to the point where you can start getting into your Habano, your Cordial cigars, and start to scale up. This stick is your crown. Played this in several videos, Art of the Rapper being one of them. This personally is one of my favorite Connecticut cigars. Why? Because it really creates a medium body cigar while exposing you to some great flavors as you smoke it. This is an Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper with a Sumatra blender. So it really creates a more mellow, medium body that's really going to bring out the flavors within the cigar. And the filler is Dominican Republic and Nicaraguan. So it really comes together to create a awesome smoke. And love about this because it starts to really get you engaged into the medium body cigars. This is one of those that is a light shade but a more medium body, which is going to really allow you to get a more robust smoke when you smoke this. And this is also created by Drew Estate. The next cigar is your Alec Bradley Connecticut. Your Alec Bradley Connecticut has a very attractive Ecuadorian Connecticut shade wrapper with a woody and earthy aroma, fully embody a creamy smoke. It has a lot of sweet but not sweet flavors to it that really comes out in the cigar and really does not overpower your palate, which is really going to turn you off from the cigar. This is a Ecuadorian shade wrapper. If y'all are catching on to something, most great cigars that are Connecticut's are an Ecuadorian Connecticut shade. The binder is a Honduran binder and the filler is a Nicaraguan and Honduras filler, which really comes together to create a perfection for a handmade Connecticut cigar, and is a great representation of the Connecticut community. And then lastly, one of my top favorites as well is the My Father Connecticut. This is a cigar that was directly created to really respond to the consumers' want for a more milder cigar. This is a cigar created in 2014 that really has some great hints of spices as well as creamy flavors that really encompasses a more mild to medium body cigar, and it really comes together for a great smoke. This is Ecuadorian Connecticut shade cigar with the Ecuadorian binder and filler components, and this is a really great cigar that was created by the Garcia brothers. Simply try to become the best cigar on the market. Now, hands down, every single one of these 5 cigars that I spoke about are personally my favorite top Connecticut brands. If I all in order based on what I personally would smoke myself, I will go Undercrown, I will go My Father, I will go Alec Bradley, go the Monte Cristo White Vintage, and then I will go the Tabak. That is in the order that I would smoke them in. Now, you don't have to agree with the way I smoke them, but those are what stimulates my palate when I first started smoking. All these cigars that we speak of today in this video can be found at DapperDCigars.com when we launch on May 8th. We'll start doing some cigar reviews. I know everybody's been asking for cigar reviews. I'm going to start those. I wanted to really get the foundational pieces of the cigars and understanding cigars out before I really started doing your cigar reviews. But what I'm going to do is start getting into those so we can really understand the smokes of the cigar, so you know exactly to smoke when you start or when you go to your cigar lounge after this COVID-19. So with that being said, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Those are my top 5 recommendations. If you have any other recommendations, comment below. Like, share, and subscribe to this video. Also, go follow me on Facebook at Dapper D Cigars for exclusive deals on DapperDCigars.com. With that being said, I'm Jack the Cigar Enthusiast, and I'm